Hello friends, and welcome back to Nova Scotia. I'm Shayna Makes, historic house nerd by day, circus artist by night. But unfortunately, you're not going to be hearing much from me this episode because I had to suddenly fly home when my father passed away. So instead, this week, Phil will be taking you around the house with him as he makes some big upgrades and tries to track down the source of the ongoing leak in the front entryway.
So it is a beautiful day today. I am just back from the hardware store. I got some lumber. And today's project is to build a storage rack for lumber of new wood and also to store the siding we took off from the house already. Nothing too fancy, but just to keep it elevated off the ground in the basement and out of our way in the corridor. Let me explain to you what the plan is. So we're going to take a bunch of 2x4s, cut them to length, and then put some 90-degree pieces of lumber here to make multiple shelves. And that's gonna extend for the whole wall here. I've set up the laser and I'm gonna go mark all the studs, and then for the levels under I'm gonna use a spacer so everything is nice and even. Alright, so I am done the first 3 levels, and it's enough for now. We don't have that much lumber to store, and we can always add more levels when we need. Everything is set, is spaced properly, and it's leveled more or less, but they're a little bit weak, so I got a bunch of triangle left from cutting the stairs to go up and down the basement. So I'm gonna put them right like that. This way it doesn't take too much space on the level and it's gonna stiffen up everything nicely. For now, this is gonna have to do. I'm gonna transfer everything that's currently on the sawhorses and put them on the rack. This way I can move around a bit easier. Probably gonna add some diagonal bracing because things are a little bit wiggly at this point, but for now, it's gonna do. So, not perfect, but way better than laying on the ground or laying in the corridor upstairs, and plenty space for expansion. Yeah, job well done. All right, we are back in the entryway where today it's warm and I'm gonna be chasing the leak. There is active water running down here. Yesterday we got some snow and today is several degrees above freezing. So lots of melting happening and the water is quite clear about where it's coming in. So it's about this height. Let's go see outside, see where it might be coming from. For reference, it's about the same height at the top of the door here. That it starts and it trickles down and wets all of these boards. So here we are at the height of the door frame. What's happening in the corner here? A previous repair! Shocker! So the water seems to be mostly getting kicked off of the siding, except in that corner where the roof is pitching backwards actually. Whatever doesn't go inside the house trickles on the siding. And some of those siding panels are quite angled this way. And I think that the water that gets under here is allowed to run behind this. And I suspect that this trim corner that was added when this was replaced is not properly behind this. So any water that's allowed to go sideways just hits the planking and runs inside the wall. So let's see what we can do about that. So the temporary caulking job I did last time seems to be mostly keeping water out of that corner and that window. So here's what I found. This little roof here is heavily pitching backwards. So all of the water that drips right here kind of goes this way, wrong direction, under the shingles, and then God knows where inside the wall. And on the other side here, I don't know if you can see, but there's actually standing water. And when I press on this, this is really soft. So that matches directly with the heavy water damage that we have downstairs in the sunroom. Not the sunroom, but the bay window of the front living room. So all of this here is rotten. And it's gonna need to be replaced. This whole roof needs to be kind of reframed with a bigger angle so that the water cannot run backwards. So I have removed a few of the layers of the siding here. And here's what I found. Absolute soaked cardboard backer plate. Old sign of trim, maybe. You can see it was cut out at some point. It looks like it might have been a mid-height molding. Hard to say. Or there used to be a window here, so that was probably the molding at the top of the window that used to be on this wall here. But look at that. This is just wetness, grossness. Same thing here. So the idea is to remove what's wet and then just put a protective layer until we address it properly. But yeah, no wonder it's wet inside. Here's another sign of some sort of what used to be a molding in here. Maybe. Some detail was cut around when the asphalt layer of siding was put on. Original siding. Second layer. Aluminum is the third layer. At this height, it's not too bad. Seems that the heavy water damage is more up top. So here we are, and let's see why the water was going in that corner. So this is the corner of the vinyl siding that was added later on, way after everything else. And this is made to catch any water that goes this way. It catches it and it just shoots it down. But behind there has no such feature. So all of the siding that was still going here, water had no checkpoint. So it would just hit this, hit the wall, hit the planks behind, and wet the inside of the wall. So I think that now the best course of action is to remove all the things, all the layer, the siding, the planking behind. It's all mostly rotten. And cover it with something, waterproof it, let it breathe, let it dry, and then come back to it when it's dry. Also, we can see here that on that old tar paper under the original siding, that mold was quite happy living in that moist environment. Moist. We're about mid-wall here. This is the inside flanking. You can see the plaster from inside right there. The inside part of the wall looks actually pretty good. Doesn't seem like the water has reached the inside. There's a little bit of old mold there, but it seems, well, no, it's alive, but it's all in all pretty manageable mold wise in this cavity. This goes all the way down and you can see inside. Hello, entryway. So the plan now is to cut all the nails that were on those old planks, and then by inside I can insert OSB for now, but I'm gonna insert a board here just to cover that up, and then I can put some waterproofing on it and call it done. I'm gonna remove this one too, and probably stop around here because these looks a bit better, and I want to try to keep it at a manageable size. But this side here, the ends of the plank are also kind of starting to go. Lots of dry rot in there, so this is gonna need to be removed too. But just to keep it manageable for now, I'm gonna focus on this side and see if I have time to do more. There's some blown in here, so it's really a good level to stop. Try to replank everything up to there. Well, when you saw breaks in half, need a new blade. Oops! You can see the 2 holes they had drilled to inject blown in, and most of that blown in ended up in the basement because the bay was open under the sill plate. So yeah, so there's blown in all the way up to here, which if you look at the window is maybe inside the house a bit higher than mid-weight. All the rest is just completely naked. It's looking better like this than with rotten insulation though. It's messy work, rotten wood destroyation. Yeah.
Now, obviously, with me being gone from the house for most of this week's video, there is a noticeable lack of corgi content. So I thought, let's take a little segment here, hang out with the cute dog, have some fun while I chat about this week's sponsor, which is actually me. That's right, I am sponsoring this week's video because I have been notoriously bad about remembering to promote the channel and just remind everyone all the various ways that you can support the house project. So let's go hang out with the corgi and let's chat about that. You can put it back? So as always, we have the classic Patreon page. That's probably the most well-known if you follow other creators. Kind of everyone has a Patreon page. For me, what I do is I do very casual monthly vlogs where I take patrons around the house and show them what I'm up to in real time without the, year-long delay here on the main channel. So lately we've been going into deep dives on bathroom layouts, some long ramblings on 3D printing, exterior aesthetics of the house. It's been a really good time. If monthly subscription isn't your thing, which I totally get, so not everyone wants recurring payments, I also have a coffee page, which serves as a tip jar. So if you really enjoyed a video, you can just bop in and leave a one-time thank you tip, no strings attached. That's always a really fun option. And of course, if you want to support the channel, but doing so financially just isn't an option for you, I totally get it. Honestly, just coming back every Friday, hanging out with me, watching the entirety of the video, leaving a thumbs up, sharing the video with friends and family that you think might enjoy it. These are all fantastic, easy, and completely free ways to show your love and support for me, for the channel, for the corgi, and of course for Phil too, which, speaking of Phil, let's go see what he's been up to.
In the entryway, now you can really see the water damage here. So that's where we were. All the planks we just removed were here. And because we have access inside, it's not going to be too complicated to insert a piece of plywood back in the same hole, fix it temporary, and put Tyvek or some waterproofing on top of it, just to stop the water infiltration for the moment. So I'm going to clear all the foam out of there up to about here where I stopped, cut all the nails, make it as pretty as it can be, and then we're going to start closing it back up. It's tight quarters in there. Should I wear something else than cotton? Nice and clear, ready to accept a new board. It is temporary, mind you. This is gonna have to be totally or partially replaced, we'll see. And a bunch more structural stuff. Also, look at this cute joinery. You can see the classic mortise and tenon here with the locking pin. And we can actually see the locking pin on the other side. It's nice and pointed. The reason why this house hasn't fallen apart. Good old joinery. So while I have access inside here, might as well give that mold a little bit of love. Goes away pretty nicely. So looks like the gap is exactly 8 feet or a little bit under, which is perfect because I have a sheet of 8x4 plywood. Well, because of that ceiling structure here, I'm having trouble inserting it straight in one go. So I might have to remove a bit more of this. It has to come down anyway, so might as well do it now. So I went at the hardware store, got some house wrap, and I'm gonna slap a bunch of it on the problem and come back to it tomorrow. I opened up this section here because I noticed that under the insulation we had put again, this is now absolutely soaked with water, and so is this. And we follow it up, this whole top section here, this whole thing here is completely soaked under the top. So something's wrong at the top and it's trickling all the way down. At this height anyway inside, it doesn't really look like this is really wet. So it seems to be contained more on the inside of this. And the planking here at the back also looks good. So that's a good sign for this section here. Honestly, this vapor barrier here is probably causing more trouble than it's worth. You might want to come see this. So this whole room here, we're gonna get opened up, remove the drop ceiling frame, remove the plaster on top of it, and start fresh. It's mostly newish material. There's nothing too historic about this drywall, and we need to open things up to catch all the water damage, so we'll be able to replace it. That's interesting. So I just remove a little bit more of the drywall, and would you look at that? Somebody patched a hole, which means that this was probably at some point a doorway. We have found up here if you look right there, that they used to have a dividing wall there, and so probably a door on either side, and that's probably where the left door was. There is some leftover red paint and blue paint and some wallpaper that a bit bricky, like in the bedroom. Bit of a mix and match. Not sure where it came from, but my guess would be somewhere in the house. I have finished removing all the drywall on the front part of the entryway here, and I think that we can confirm officially that there were two doors here before. This is a new header that they put in, but before that, this is the original separation. One on this side, one on this side. This is a big door frame, and we can see that when they plug the hole, they use some sort of reused inside wall. There's some wallpaper on there, some paint. I don't know where it came from. There's a chance that maybe it came from the little back of the house entryways that seem to have been removed. Looks like they patched this hole first, and then they moved on to this one, and then they ran out, and then these are new boards from the top. So what they did is take this old header plate, and then they just sliced it and put a master beam to cover the ancient door on this side, and to span the gap for the new middle door. And this one is double. There's two of them under, because it's a wide gap, and this big center beam of the house here. This is holding the ridge of the house on top. Yeah, used to be two, now is one. And who knows, maybe it's gonna come back to two doors eventually. Interesting.
I just got the video clip that Phil sent me of the entryway and the double headers that, you know, basically prove that there were two original front doors to this house. And I just thought it was so fun that I wanted to pop in here and record a little something. It's a little strange. I'm not sure exactly where this is gonna fall in the video because, I mean, let's put it this way. You, as a viewer, up till this point in the video, you actually know much more about what is going on at the house, what Phil has done, than me sitting here recording it. I mean, obviously, I have talked with Phil. He has sent me videos and photos, but just like little snippets of what he's doing. I don't really know the minute details, at least not to the extent that you do. So that's kind of a mind trip, but anyway, I just wanted to react to the double door situation because, I mean, we knew that this was a duplex, built as a duplex from the beginning, and also we suspected that there were two doors. It made sense. The house was mirrored in every other way. The house is divided in every other way. There had to have been two doors, right? But because we just can't see it because it was hidden under all the siding and everything else, we weren't 100% sure. You know, it's funny because if you've been with me through the whole house journey and you've watched the episodes from the beginning, you'll know it was always a duplex. I've said it many, many times on the channel so far. And yet, even today, this morning, I woke up to two different comments telling me how magnificent it would be if I tore out that middle wall and reunited the house to be one grand staircase in a big, massive entryway. And I just giggle when I read those comments because it was always built as a duplex. There is no reuniting the stairways into one. They are two separate stairways. So it was always this way, but we weren't entirely sure what the front entryway looked like, that foyer area, just because it has had so much work done to it and it has been changed to be a one-door entryway. So we always kind of figured it must have had two doors, right? And then once we started opening up that entryway a couple weeks ago and we saw the proof that there had been at least a dividing wall, then it feels like, okay, there kind of had to have been two doors, right? One on either side of the wall, but you never know till you open it up, and unfortunately I wasn't there to open it up, but it was still, nonetheless, I got a fun little giggle. Just seeing the evidence, the double headers, there were two doors, and now dreaming about how we can possibly restore the entryway, what it might look like, to try to turn it back to its former glory. So I was just having fun with that. It was like a fun little confirmation of my suspicions. So anyway, I guess I'm going to throw you back to more work with Phil at the house because I'm assuming he's not done. I'm still here for a few more days. So let's throw back to Phil and see what he's up to.
Now I am addressing the roof that's all rotten.
Well, I did say I wasn't sure where this would fall in the video, and it turns out the rotten roof is going to have to wait for next week.
It's not easy one-handed. Looks like a meteor hit the yard.